Hello viewers, we're back in SnowRunner and this time we're going to be looking at upgrades for the Chevy CK1500 pickup. I did a video previous about this same subject. That was about a year ago and I realized that I was coughing like crazy through the whole thing. So this is going to be a replacement for that. If you've already watched it, you can stop watching right now. It's going to cover the same content. We're still very early on in this game. Not quite at the very beginning, but pretty close to it. This is after getting the Azov, after getting the Hummer, after getting the Scout 800, and today we're going to collect the suspension lift and the differential lock for this truck. So let's get to it. First thing we want to do is put the off-road tires on this, because this is actually the second truck that is available in Smithville Dam. This is not the original one that I started the game with. So if you watch the first episode where I was trying to get the Azov 64131 and you notice that I put off-road tires there, this is why it isn't still there. Now I could use the Hummer H2 for this. It's a little bit more capable in this vehicle at this time, but perhaps you're watching this and you haven't gotten that truck. So we'll use the Chevy pickup just so that you know that it can be done. Not really a big fan of the colors, so let's change it up a little bit. Go with a nice bright orange. Plus we have a two-tone. And I'm not really a fan of the red and white. Or the green and white, or the blue and white. Screw it, we're going with orange. Okay, so we're at the garage in Black River, and first thing we're going to do is we're going to go get the suspension lift, which, if I'm not mistaken, is this one. So let's do that right off the bat. Now, one thing I've said before on my videos is that I tend to drive fairly fast on Scout vehicles. I'm very used to the handling in the game. If you're new to the game, you probably want to slow things down a little bit. I've gotten fairly used to the way that they slide around, and yet I still screw up like that. And I think rather than this orange sunset, we're going to advance the time into 6 a.m. Get into some more normal light. I've done this drive quite a few times before, not sure what there really is to say about it. Now, one thing you want to be a little bit careful of is if I'd have been thinking ahead, when I was putting the tires onto the truck, I also would have bought a snorkel. Because without the lift kit or the snorkel, when you go through even narrow little streams like this, you will get a warning about dangerous water levels. It's not enough to damage the engine yet, but you wouldn't even see that with the snorkel on there. In fact, with a snorkel, you can pretty much drive through water up to your hood. Now, I believe it might be this road that takes me up the mountain. Nope, it's the next one. Oh, I've gone too far. I should have gone up back where the creek was. Okay, well that's good to know. Yeah, as much time as I've spent in this game, even I screw up once in a while. So what I'm going to do is backtrack a little bit and take this route instead, because it'll be faster to do it on the road. And you'll probably notice that I tend to drive mostly from the external view. I find that you just don't get good situational awareness from the dashboard view. It's not like real life where you can crank your head around anywhere you need to and lean from one side to the other to get a little bit better view of what happens to be just outside of your truck. Okay, I have no idea what that was. I'm not seeing any giant rocks in the road. I don't know why I took damage there. Raised suspension, okay. And it's for this truck. Now, I could theoretically go back to the garage and mount that raised suspension. But instead, we're going to proceed straight to Smithville Dam and get the differential lock. And I believe I want to turn left here. Yes, I do. And what we're going to do is we still haven't repaired the main road out of town. There's a roadblock right about here. So in order to get to the tunnel to Smithville Dam, we're going to take the alternate route. Which I can actually get onto over here. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the right and I'm going to head back to the main road and I'm going to take that. Just because it's quicker. So, you know, if I'd hit a big boulder like that, I could understand doing engine damage. Alright, so we're going to take this road and it's going to take us around the main road, sort of the back way of getting there. It would also maybe be possible to cross over at this watchtower. In fact, you know what? Let's try that instead. I've got experience in this game, and it'll save me a little bit of travel. Yeah, I'm trying to stay off the center of the mud hole, because if I get bogged in here, it's going to be bad. And when I say mud hole, I mean road. And you can do the observation, which shows you a panorama of the landscape. And when we look at the map, it's exposed a lot more of it, including this rock slide. Now it is possible, because of this vehicle I'm driving, to get around that, but it's going to be a little bit tough. So instead I'll just take this road, follow it to here, and bypass the rock slide. Assuming I get through this last little section of it. Now what I'm looking at here is the grass. The grass usually indicates that the ground's a little bit more solid. And you may remember that on the first episode that I did, which was getting the Azov 64131, we ended up at this house here, which had the Scout 800, and then I just cut down the hill in order to get to the tunnel. So all I've done is save going up this switchback to the house there, and just taking the road straight along the coastline here. Now, because I opened the garage on the mission to get the Azov 64131, I'm not going to bother going up there. That was done in a previous mission, so now if I recover to this garage. If you haven't done this and you're still fresh in the game, I would recommend doing that. So you take the first right, go up the hill, and unlock the garage before you proceed to this next part. But since I'm bypassing that thing, or that part of it, we're going to just head straight down this road here. We're going to top up our gas at the garage. Even though you don't technically need to for this. The fuel is free and we're driving right past it. Man, I wish fuel was free in real life. And since there's a task right here, I might as well pick it up. It's a good idea to always accept every task you come across. Oh, I've already done that. Now, while I was going to do this on the second of the videos about getting the Azov 64131, I kind of screwed up on my location. So where we have to go is down to the shoreline on this side of that rock bridge going across the water. And it's really surprising that it was still rolling with the emergency brake. We want to take the first right to go down the hill. And you may remember from one of my previous videos, I was down this road where we found this pickup. This is not the one that you start in Smithville Dam with at the beginning of the game. This is actually a second one that you get here. Yeah, I'm going to go down this hill in low gear. That'll give me a little bit more control over my speed. And the road's not really well marked out here. Am I hung up on this tree? Sometimes the branches in here are so random that they'll kind of jam you on something you don't even think you should be stuck on. And I'm deliberately doing this before I put the lift kit on, because this road's a little bit raunchy, and with the truck configured the way it is now, without the lift kit and with the smaller tires on, it's a little bit less tippy. Also staying in low gear and moving nice and slow, so as to not tip it over or drive off the side of the cliff. Oh, hill. I don't know if I necessarily call this a cliff. Now that hillside's pretty steep. You could definitely roll a truck, and doing it this close to the objective would be annoying. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn uphill, and I'm actually going to back down to that thing. Okay, so I get the upgrade. It's the engageable differential for this truck. And at this point I can recover to the garage. And we're going to immediately go back out, and we're going to do a before and after test. So we come to this mud hole here and we try and crawl through it. Just four-wheel drive, all-terrain tires. And you can get in, and we're making slow progress, but you can see it is definitely quite slow. I turn the wheels from left to right to sort of ease me forward a little bit. You can see it's really not liking this much. And in fact, I'm not even still moving. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to recover. And we're going to add our new stuff. Raise suspension. Sell the regular one. We're going to go with the 36-inch tires. Sell those again. And we're going to put the diff lock on. Sell the unlocked one. And just because I should have already done it, I'm going to put the snorkel on. And now let's go try that same mud hole. Now you can see the truck is sitting a little bit higher. Maybe a little more tippy. You can almost get it up on two wheels, so not quite. I suppose if you got up a decent amount of speed and cranked it hard, maybe you could. So last time we just kind of crawled into it. We're going to do the same thing this time. And that's with the differential lock turned off. So now let's back up and try that again. But this time we'll do it with the differential lock on. Watch me get stuck because now I've chewed my way through here a few times. The road's more tore up. Anyways, nice and easy. Now, there is one upgrade that I'm going to go grab, and I don't know if it's the transmission that I'm thinking of. If it is, it's going to be a nice little bonus for this thing. So we'll get back onto the road. And keep in mind that getting those upgrades took a matter of, what, 25 minutes? Now what we're going to do is we're going to go grab this upgrade sitting down here. I don't recall if that's the transmission upgrade or not, but it won't take very long to get to. There we go. Now, one thing to keep in mind is when you're driving with the differential locked on a vehicle like this, if you're driving on solid ground, it will damage your transmission. So when you start to see the red drive shaft show up, then you probably want to take the diff lock off. That is not what I was hoping for, but it is still a upgrade for this truck. And we'll recover to the garage. And if we look at that engine we just got, that would be, I want to say that was a 4.4 we just got. It drops our, or brings our power to weight ratio up a little bit and doesn't do anything to our fuel consumption. So there's really no reason not to use it over the one we have. We've also picked up the V8, which gives us higher power to weight, but also cuts our raises our fuel consumption rather. So I'll switch to that. We can still keep the good fuel consumption, but we've got a little bit more power now. And the SnowRunner gearbox is the one that I'm sort of hoping to find. What that gives you is 3 different ranges for your low range. So if you're driving with your differential lock on, it has like low minus, low, and then low plus is a little bit faster. So it allows you to fine tune your speed a little bit more. And then of course there's the fine tune, which is apparently only on one of the DLC maps. Interesting. So unless you buy the Wisconsin DLC, you won't be putting that transmission into your truck. But the Freeway and the SnowRunner are apparently both in Michigan, and I believe they're in either the Black River or Smithville Dam maps. They're both reasonably easy to find if I remember right. It's been so long since I've done this, I don't recall the exact location of it. Anyways, with the lift kit on the truck and the bigger tires and the differential lock, it makes the Chevy pickup a little bit more versatile. It also makes it a little bit tippier, so be careful about putting a roof rack on. There is a couple of options for roof racks, and I don't really like either of them all that much. The trunk repair supplies are okay because they don't really raise your center of mass any, but you only get repair parts and a spare tire, whereas the roof racks will also give you fuel. It's about a half a tank of fuel for that one, and 80 for this one, which is a full tank. But the problem is that puts your weight so high up that that could be a problem if you start to drive sideways on a hill. You'll find yourself sitting on your side, and that'll be kind of an issue for you. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully this video has been helpful to you, and if you found it informative, maybe come back and check out and see what we get in the future. Have a good evening.